Welcome back to CAS 216 Beginning Word. I'm assuming since you're watching this video, you felt you were ready for this class, and let's get started. You're logged in, you've arrived, you've gotten into Moodle, you've gotten logged in, and here you are. So what do you need to do? Well, you start with where it says Start Here. You read the class introduction and the important information. You maybe even print a copy to keep. A lot of times that's a wise thing to have on hand. You also get the syllabus and you go ahead and you get a copy of it, or at least read through it. You will find the videos right in here when this gets done. That means you've already discovered them. You've got your assignment due dates. You're going to want to probably pull a copy of that and either save it or print it, depending on what you feel most comfortable with. Here are going to be the data files that you're going to need for all your chapter exercises throughout this term. You'll be coming back to this link quite often, or you're just going to get them all downloaded and have them ready to go for the whole term. Got some course information, and this may change. Courses are kind of like living documents. They don't stay exactly the same term to term, time to time. Something comes up and it's like, oh, that should be added, or that needs to be explained a little better, or we don't need that anymore. And so things get changed. But for as of today, this is kind of where we're at. So you're going to come in here. You can meet your instructor. I have an introduction in there. My biggest goal is to try to support you to be successful in the class, to learn as much as you can. Hopefully you're here to learn the material and learn the skills, not just to put time in and get a grade at the other end. Class structure, how's the class setup, gives you a little background and some ideas of kind of how we're going about things. Even though we're online and you may have taken other online courses, every instructor creates Moodle the way he or she kind of visions how it should be, how they want it. It's also something, everybody has their own little style, a little bit different. You don't do the same thing exactly as other people you may know. You may have your own way of doing it. And teachers are the same way when we teach classes. Some late work information. Yes, I will accept late work, sort of, but only limited, in the sense that there are a number of assignments you have to do each week. If for some reason something happens and you don't quite get done, yes, you have an extra week to get those turned in for a reduced grade. However, you also have forum posts and forum replies to do each week. Those are not accepted late. You have quizzes to do each week, and you have to put my email address in and your email address in and have them sent to me. If you somehow don't get them sent to me, you don't get a grade posted, then you can forward your copy to me. Not copy and paste, not retake, but forward that copy. So don't get sloppy and not carry through all the steps, because those steps are kind of your protection for being able to get credit. Because once those are late, there's no credit unless it's a forwarded copy to prove that it was done on time. You have a journal posting to do each week. Those are not accepted late. In other words, you're going to lose a massive amount of points each week by not completing everything on time. So just kind of be aware of that for your time and scheduling plan. That yes, the assignments can come in late, but those other items cannot. Some good rules about email are posted in there just for people to kind of refresh about how you approach some email and how that people can't see you, they don't know you're joking, whatever. Professionalism, you're taking this course, it's designed for professionals. It's also good for students and general life and all those types of things. How to get sound working. These PowerPoints for most of the chapters do have sound. If you're not quite sure how to get sound going, this will probably help you get that happening. There's a news forum. I post in it fairly regularly. Beginning of the term, a lot more than after we get going in the term and things are kind of getting more routine. But I do post in there. You need to be checking this frequently. Frequently means like every 48 hours or more. Moodle is supposed to send you an email every time I post. Don't trust it. It's been known to get goofy in the middle of a term. And just quit sending emails totally. Just says, I'm not going to do it anymore, I guess. So please make sure you're logging in at least once every 48 hours and that you are in fact checking that form to make sure you have not missed some sort of important class information. Coffee shop is mostly your area. You're trying to get a ride to the campus. You have a face-to-face class. Your car's acting up. You need a ride. You're hoping maybe somebody in class is going that way and you could hop a ride for a couple of days. Great, throw it in there, things like that. Want to try to do a study session so you can sit down and work with somebody, do some study sessions together. 2 heads are better than 1 type of thing. Just be aware each person must use their own computer and their own mouse and do all their own work. If at any point in time it appears that's not how it's happened, then that's considered cheating. CAS tutoring. CAS department does offer some tutoring, and the information is updated in there as we go. A version form. This is in case somebody in the class is trying to do this class without the correct software. The correct software is Office 2013. That's what we're doing with Word 2013. And you're trying to do it with the old 2010. If that's the case, you are going to have to A, make your projects match, and then B, send this form in to me to explain to me exactly what you had to tweak and work at. Most students can get them so close that really I almost don't catch that they had a different software program. But it takes a lot more work and a lot more time to try to recreate a wheel that somebody else could have done in 1 click. So 2013 is or Office 365 are obviously the better choices, but sometimes that just doesn't happen. So this form sits here. You can use it all term. This work is to be done before the first Thursday of the class. If you wait until after 8 p.m. Thursday night and go, oh yeah, I need to do that, you're going to find you're dropped out of the class already. And no, I don't let students back in. Every single time I have done it, except maybe once, I've ended up regretting it, and it's ended up being a bad thing for them. Please, 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 let me back in. Please, I'll be just... And then they fail it. Or, well, why can't I get back in? That's not fair. And then they fail it. So, obviously, I'm not doing them any sort of favor by giving in and saying, okay, fine, you can be back in. So, there won't be that. It would be very extenuating circumstances that I would even think about it. So just make sure you have these done. You need to read this. You need to take this test. You need to put my email address in it and send it to me. My email address is listed all over the class. It's right here. It's here inside the directions for this. It's in the syllabus, so you should be able to find it. If you ever see it listed for any of our addresses with cggcc.or.us, those will be forwarded to our new cgcc.edu addresses. We're trying to make sure we have the correct one in there, but if you run into it someplace in the world that has the old ones for any of your instructors, it will be forwarded. This is a quiz to be done. And then you have an introduction form to do, and the forms do have a length. Each form must be 100 words or more for your basic post, and each reply to a student must be meaningful, thoughtful, and add to the conversation and be at least 50 words long. And so you have an introduction to do of yourself, and then you need to reply to another student and respond to something that they have posted. Now, I'm a little bit more lenient on the very first one simply because sometimes it's hard to come up with a whole lot to say to somebody. But if your reply is, hi, nice to meet you, not going to work. So here's week 1. We'll just start you in and give you a little introduction, and then we'll be done with the videos for this class. Again, as I said in the Are You Ready video, CAS 133 steps you through a lot more than this class does. This class is a more advanced class than the introduction class. You've gone from intro to beginning, and then there's like intermediate and advanced. And so this is a step up, and these are the only 2 videos. You come in here, you get your information. It says start here. You need to read the notes. Maybe even if you're a visual person, make a copy. That's totally up to you. Some files that you're going to need. Here's your link to your quiz. It does have a quick start guide and in this case, if you're new to Windows 8 information, if you're trying to use a brand new Windows 8 machine. Also, if you want to learn more about Windows 8 or even Windows 7, CAS 103 introduces those operating systems, and it's offered in the spring and sometimes in the fall. Spring seems to be a better option usually for people. So that's another option out there. There's also CAS 104, which is Introduction to Internet. So there are a number of other more beginning basic classes out there. And then you have your chapter assessment. This is where you're going to upload it and submit it. You do have directions here. It kind of reminds you of what you need to be doing here. And it's not open yet. It's 61 days overdue. That has to be updated every term. Obviously, that's not done at this point. But there is then a box in here that allows you to click submit, and you can upload your file. You have your online quiz grade. After I get your quiz sent to me in email, I'll sort it into a special file, and when I do grading, I'll record the grade and I'll post it there for you. If that gets blank and you're like, I'm not seeing your grade, the one thing to know is I grade in bits and pieces as quick as I can, but I teach multiple classes. And sometimes you're the first class graded, sometimes the second class graded, sometimes I have a ton of time, sometimes I don't. So what my policy is, when I'm done grading for each class, I go to forum and I post like week 1 grading completed, week 2 grading completed. When that post is done, then go in and look. You want feedback. You want to look at whether you've got things done correctly, whether you need to do, whatever. And then you need to look at that and make sure there's a grade in there. If that's still blank, contact me. Send me an email and say, hey, I don't have a grade for a week 1 quiz. Did you not get it? Maybe I goofed and just didn't get it put in there, and then I can fix that for you as well. Or maybe I'm going to go, no, I don't have it. Don't know what happened, but it's not here, and you're going to have to resend. Your journal is going to be in here for you to do as well. And then your forums. Now you can do some extra credit that is explained throughout, like the syllabus and the intro and all of that stuff. The extra credit is due the Wednesday of finals week. It's not due the last day of finals week. It's due the Wednesday evening of finals week. I try to monitor my email pretty carefully. I ask for 48 hours, but in reality, you should have an answer in under 24. At 48, if you've not heard back, please try again. Something happened. It didn't make it. Something. It got lost in the pile. I sometimes can get as many as 100 emails in a day. So sometimes something can get missed. The other thing is, though, in reality, I will try to get back to you much quicker than that. I know if you're working on stuff, getting an answer fast is helpful. So I will do it as quick as I can. That means I sometimes type on my phone or my iPad. That is not a good thing. In fact, it's such a bad thing my children have started texting my husband instead of me, because I just cannot handle that keyboard. So please excuse any typos. I do try to double check, but they slip through, even with best of intents. However, the trade-off is you get an answer a lot faster. Also, if you can't understand it ever, please don't feel bad and just say, I'm sorry, I don't quite understand this. I'll be glad to try again and maybe use a real keyboard. So anyway, given that, I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can, but figure on 24. So that means don't wait till the last minute to do your work, and resubmit at 48 if you haven't heard, because something's happened by that point usually. It's rare it takes me that long. I think in the last 5 years, it's maybe been twice I've been off the grid enough that it's taken me over 24. If you've got questions, send me questions. I'll be glad to try to answer them. And have a great time and learn a ton in class.